What's going on, everybody? Hey, look at that notification squad. Ready to go. That's what I like to see. Already 20 people in here before I even get started? Okay. Let's see who we got today. Chosen one on early. I see you. What's up, man? Dr. Dre, what's going on? Welcome. Justin with the first. Okay, what's going on, man? Yeah, I tried to get on a little bit sooner for y'all. I know I've been streaming a little late recently, so hopefully this is better. Who else we got? Let's see. We've got a lot to talk about today, don't we? Excuse the mess behind me, by the way. Been working on some stuff for y'all. Hey, what's up, Sidhu? So happy you came on earlier. Yeah. I actually started streaming earlier because you asked. So there you go. RT, smash the like, boys. This dude deserves it. Appreciate that, RT, and welcome to the stream. Thank you. New lows means new highs. Doge is the joint of life. Time to get high. I like that. But yeah, absolutely. New lows means new highs. It's just a matter of when, right? And we're getting there. We're getting there. And there's some stuff to talk about. Notification gang for real. I know, Preezy. What's going on, man? Subi, not Doge. Hey, what's up, Gilbert? Checking in from San Diego. What's going on, man? With every Doge you've bought since April. I'm glad you've been buying on the way down, because we're about at that point where we're going to start heading back up, and that's what we got to talk about today. When is that point going to be? And what's going on to all 30 of you in the stream right now? Don't forget, smash that like button if you already haven't, and more importantly, even click that subscribe button so that you can catch the next live stream, which will be, of course, either later tonight if we do another one today, or tomorrow for sure. Bitcoin recovering soon as Mariano went live. I'm the whale for sure. I wish I was the whale. Maybe one day I'll have enough money to be a whale in any crypto, but as of now, I'm just the one that talks about the whales. That's the way it is. Don't let the shirt deceive you. That's where all my money is. Price isn't up, but the bag count is. Nice. Nice. What's up, everybody? Rick, hey, how's it going? Hey. Prince, what's going on, Prince? Samir? How's it going, man? Jackie, to the moon, to the moon. Davey Sanchez, Dogecoin to the broom. I like that. Oh yeah, music, I cranked it down a bit. Wish this would just find the bottom already. I agree. And we're almost there. Survey, yeah, I'll get a survey up for y'all. Robert says, please tell me we have hit the bottom. Let's talk about that. What's up? Jen, welcome back. Would like to be high right now. Feel sad looking at the portfolio. I understand. Please cover Upshot story also. Okay. All right. So what we'll do, we'll talk about Dogecoin first, and then we'll talk about Upcoin. All right. Because, by the way, just literally as I was starting the stream, finished making this shirt by her. All right. I'm warming up for you guys for the merch store. All right. All Dogecoin apparel coming very soon. All right. I'm just practicing. This one actually came out. I'm proud of this one. So we're almost there. It needs to be perfect for y'all before I start selling you guys stuff, but it's going to be good. Like button. Thank you, Jared. Appreciate that. Are we bouncing or faking out? There's the question. I trust you as I watch a few YouTubers, and yours are the most accurate, and I'm the most accurate in my predictions. Thank you. Hire someone to hit the like button after you. Jared, you're funny, man. All right, let's get right into this, shall we? We got 25 likes. Let's try and get to like 35. We got like 40 people in here. I think we can do it. Appreciate the support regardless, though. All right, so let's go right into this, shall we? So, and also, if the music's still too loud, let me know. Obviously, I'm not watching my stream, so I can't really tell, but looks okay. So here we are playing out the move as we discussed yesterday. So as you can see, for those that were not in the stream, my dog might start going crazy. Bear with me. As you could see from what we talked about in the stream yesterday, we saw this pattern copied and pasted to here, looking like it wanted to repeat itself again. For those that were not familiar, if you just start from here, right? So you get the move down on the sell-off from the first point here. Then you get this little move up, a pullback, big move up, this gradual little curve move, and then just a gradual sell-off that eventually ends up dumping. And then you can see that repeat literally right here. If you start from here again, the down move, the up, small pullback, and big move up, and then the gradual move right here, overall sell-off as it curves over, and then the dump coming right here. Because if you delete this line again, you can see right towards the tail end of that gradual slant over, you see this right here. That repeats itself right here. So it's literally copy and paste, all right? Not making this stuff up, but it's just obvious that this pattern, I mean, just look at it here and here. And this part right here, this part right here. Like it started doing it again. So without overanalyzing the tail portion of it though, you could just see it fell a little bit, did a bounce back up, and then started the major sell-off, which took like 1 or 2 steps, but then it happened. And right here, you see it fell, did the pullback, sold. Now it's in this stage right here, this little bounce up. If it continues to, oh, I need to slide the chart over. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about my cam. All right. There you go. If it continues to do this exact same thing right here, and then copy that to right here, which is where we are there, then here's what you can see. After it did the M, is that polyline? Why didn't that work? Hang on. Technical difficulties. All right, here we go. You look right here, did this little thing, sold off, went under, and did this. All right. Now, if you glance over to this time frame, you can see that's happening right here. Same exact thing, just shorten it up a bit. So here we have the smaller little M pattern forming, the pullback, the sell-off. I missed one point here. There we go. And then here we are. Right here. So that's the way that's looking. We've copied and pasted that whole move over to here. We did this, and now it's what happened here, right here, was it bounced up one more time, and then it dumped multiple cents. A big move down. So if we're really copy and pasting that pattern, that means right here, this was the dip before it does this little pullback up, and then it dumps further, right? So that's just basically if you're not even trying to do like major technical analysis, looking at support, resistance levels, anything. But if you're just looking at what just happened and seeing the pattern repeating itself to a T, that would be what would happen if it were just to follow what it just did again. All right. So there's that. So there's one sign that we could still be going down. And we'll talk about the bearish perspective first and then the potential bullish perspective, because you always have to look at both angles, because it does not always just keep doing the same pattern over and over. At some point, usually it does hit a bottom and go up. Even if it was following the pattern to a T, you know, it could hit a support level and be like, oh, well, that's the bottom. Stop following the pattern. And now time to reverse. So I'm not saying it's going to happen based off that. But if you just look at it, that's what happened just now previously, and it could happen again. Now, if you're looking at this aside from that thing just happening again, as you look here at the chart overall, let's just hide indicators really quick. You can see that overall we still look pretty bad. Now, why do I say that? Let's look at this here first, which is Dogecoin, and then we'll flip it over to the Bitcoin side. Don't forget, guys, hit that like button if you haven't. Let's see if we can get to like 50 people in the stream. Each like usually brings like 2 or 3 more people in, so your like directly contributes to our success. Thank you. So as you look at this big picture here, just draw a quick trend channel if you're new to TA and you can't really see what's going on, but it's pretty obvious that we're in a steep downtrend, right? Look at that. Overall for the last 2 months, steep downtrend. Overall for the last month, steep downtrend. Last couple weeks, downtrend. Last couple days, steep downtrend. No point here has anything started to look bullish unless you looked at what really just happened, the very first portion right after SNL, and maybe you looked at that. Even then, overall, the price action was technically sideways, all things considered, right? So there was a few little moves up here, but overall, very obviously bearish from the start. Whole trend has been down. Swing highs and swing lows, making higher highs, lower lows all the way down. The price action, the volatility, you can see that over time. Just look at the size of these candles and the size of the moves compared to the last couple weeks after we went to the bearish side of this 30-cent level here, right? When we were on top of 30 cents, we were bullish for the most part. We thought any bounce now, we could be heading up. Once we failed and went under here, it started hitting it as resistance. You can see how even though this move is basically copied and pasted, look at how much smaller the candles are and how much smaller the swing moves are. Before it was like 10 cent, 15 cent moves here. Now it's just like 2-3 cent moves. The volatility has faded away. The trading volume has faded away. And we're on a bearish course right now as well. All of those things considered, you can tell that we're not headed in the direction that we want to head short term, of course, because we know what our beliefs are in Dogecoin. We know what we think is going to happen like mid to long term. And by that, I mean within the next couple months to the end of the year. So all of this stuff is not to say Dogecoin is dying and it's not going to recover, because that's not true. But we're only analyzing this so that we can figure out when's the bottom going to be and make sure that we're like all in at that point when it hits. Now, all of that being said, let's now flip to Bitcoin, because we know as the market leader, it's really who's in control of what we're going to do. Now, as you look at it from this perspective, things get interesting, in my opinion, because I don't know if you guys are familiar with a reversal pattern that typically happens when you hit the bottom of something. But let me see if I can go to a smaller time frame and if we can see it, because I know it happened quite a few times. Hang on. I'd like to show. So, for example, a lot of times after a major sell-off, you'll start to see this like cupish thing happen where it gets to a point and it does this tight consolidation as it goes down, and just pretend like this is the bottom of a bowl or something, right? Tight consolidation as it ranges down, then it gets wider as it hits the bottom, and then it starts getting tighter as it goes back up, and then there's a move up. Now, that happens very often, and if you've been looking at this price action day after day, just like I have, you can kind of see that happen. Even though this was much longer term, it was tighter, widened out, and then got tighter as it went up. That's not a great example, but it happened so many times. And here, even though eventually the course did reverse in the opposite direction, shortish term, here, for example, this is a big one. Tight consolidation, widens, tightens back up, and then takes off. That little reversal pattern. That's been happening so many times. Very, very textbook reversal. If we go back to the 4-hour, it almost looks like, to a degree, that this is happening, but upside down. So like this tightish consolidation that widens a bit, now it's getting tighter again to where it's going to dump. Like if you just flipped it upside down. That's kind of the way that looks right here. In my opinion, I don't really like the way that's looking. Overall, you could see we're doing this. This is our trajectory, this little curve downward. And so that has me a little bit worried, because if you really flip this upside down, it almost looks like longer term, some sort of cup and handle thing, like inverse, starting to form here, right here, right? And so obviously that's a drastic line, but you see what I'm saying. That's our course. This steep down move, this overall like upside down cup, where we might just get back to like 29-ish, 30,000, do a pullback, and then go down a couple grand on Bitcoin. Reason I'm looking at Bitcoin for that is if that happens, obviously Dogecoin's following it, as is all the other altcoins. So if Bitcoin starts going down here, that means we're going to see an even deeper dip on our cryptos of choice. So we want to be prepared for that. Like, do we throw all of our money in now at 18 cents, or do we wait and see if we go down to like 16, 15, 14, and so on? Right? We know we're not going to go to single digits. That'd be way extreme. Bitcoin would have to be like in the teens, and that's not going to happen. But overall, this whole situation doesn't look good. Now, let's just remove these drawings again and look at it from a different perspective. So if you ignore that pattern right there, other than that, we are getting further and further away again from the 200 EMA line on our swing highs. So now I'll throw this back, And I actually need to delete some of these lines. So let's clean up our chart. Having a lot of lines isn't good. This line's now irrelevant. We already failed. As you can see, we were riding that up, got weak, used it as resistance, and now we're dumping. That's another bad sign short term. I don't know if you saw that. We were trending up to here in this ascending triangle here. And then we fell out the bottom, hit it as resistance twice, proved that we weren't going to flip back to the bullish side of it. Also, at the same time, failing this level right here, hit both of them as resistance, and now we're falling. That's where we are right now. So that's another bad sign to add to your list of reasons to be potentially bearish overall. We'll keep this, we'll delete this, and let's just widen it so some of the lines go off the screen. All right. So now what you can see is that on these particular moves right here, right? So we had this double bottomish W formation that forms a lot, got a little break out of there. Anyway, hit the 200 EMA, pulled back, hit it again, but didn't get quite as close, pulled back, went up again, got even further away, pulled back even further away, and now we're like not even close to it anymore. All right. So this pattern right here, let's just draw a trend line. This isn't going to be straight, but you can just kind of look at the overall course of where our swing highs have been. And you can see that those swing highs are on a steep downtrend as well. All right. Here. And yeah, that one peaked out. That one peaked out a little bit, but you can see it's getting worse and worse and worse. It's getting steeper and steeper. Compare the trajectory of our swing highs to the trajectory of the 200 EMA line that we were already dragging down bearishly. And you see even compared to the moving average that is getting lower and lower and lower and lower, indicating our weakness, that our price action is still getting weaker and weaker compared to that moving average line. So that's not a good sign. If anything, you'd like to see us getting closer to it, right? Let's start moving in towards it. Look like we're going to cross to the top side of it and go back into bullish mode again. But instead, we're doing the opposite. So just short term over the last, what was this, 2 weeks. This is 2 weeks of price action summed up, by the way, guys. And we're very bullish there. So here's what I'm going to say. Overall, if you were just to ask me right now, do I think this was the last dip? My first instinct, based of all of those things we just discussed, the answer is going to be no. Well, why do I say that? Because we haven't started to show any signs of strength yet. So even though this could potentially be the bottom, right? I'm not saying it's not. All signs are saying it probably isn't. So instead of doing a guess, even though we're at a level of support here, right? It wouldn't have been a terrible time to take a chance and just find out. Honestly, we are Dogecoin 18 cents. We grazed 17. I don't know if you saw, but we pretty much hit 18.00. So we were just grazing like that 17-cent dip, which is where I told you guys anywhere from 16 to 17-ish is where I might start placing my first buys. All right, but like 18, 19, 20, in my opinion, when we're hitting those levels, I don't feel like the dip is done. Like there's still more room to go. We've already hit 18 before. We've already hit 16 before. And just based off everything we see and how bearish we've been trading recently with the low volume, it just looked like we were at least going to get a double dip back down to here, maybe back down to here. But if we come here, probably a little further down to, 28, 26 or 20, 25-ish Bitcoin, which is going to put us mid-teens on Doge. So that dip wasn't really something I was too interested in buying. What I'm going to do, for those that I know are probably wondering, like, what are you going to do, Mariano? What I'm doing is waiting. I already told you guys, I don't mind sacrificing a couple cents potentially in order to get in where I feel comfortable. We're on the way back up. So that's either going to be a dip that I just can't refuse buying at, which is not going to be 18, 19 cents. We've been here so many times. That's not special anymore. It's going to be back down towards like 15, 16 cents. And if this is the last dip right here, and it turns out we get a big green candle on this 4-hour time frame, we start moving up, head towards 34, break above it, hold it as support, and then start reversing, cool. All right, so I'm either going to wait for the chance to get most of my money in on like a 15, 16 cent dip on Dogecoin, or if we're wrong and 18, 19 cents is the bottom, and we confirm that as we hit like 21, 22, and we're not coming back down, I'll just buy in at like 22, 23 cents. Either way, that's an insanely good average. And just think about this. If you buy in all in at like 22 cents, By the time we hit about 44 cents, you have doubled your money already. Compared to if you bought in all in at 19 cents, for example, right about where we are, and we would have to get to $38. So, I mean, it's a difference of like $3-4 before you double your money. What is that? It's kind of negligible, right? But for the opportunity to potentially get a dip mid to lower teens Dogecoin, which is where things really start to add up, because if you can catch a 15-cent dip, or let's just say we bottom out at 14.5 cents, which was my guess, that the absolute bottom we hit on Dogecoin, because I just pulled a number out the air. I think we're going to be somewhere between 13 to 15 cents, honestly. But if I were to just guess a number, I wanted to like say, hold me to this. My guess is 0.1456. All right. That's a bit of a stretch, but let's just say you can time that dip and you get in right under 15 cents, somewhere in 14. You double your money as we hit 28 bucks. I mean, 28 cents Dogecoin. Keep that in mind. So if we can get a dip down to like 16 cents again and buy that, or 15, you'll have doubled your money before we even get back to here, 30 cents. And then you double your money again once we get back to where we were on the Coinbase announcement a couple weeks ago at 45, right? So now you've tripled your money. And then by the time we get, when Bitcoin recovers back to where it came from, when Elon Musk says, all right, the suspension is over, we'll take Bitcoin for Tesla again, and we head back towards Bitcoin 60,000, and that pulls Dogecoin back up to like 55, 60 cents. At that point, you'll have quadrupled your money, 4x. And that's not even talking about Dogecoin to $1. That's just talking about near-term targets, all right? That's why, in my opinion, I'm more concerned with looking for a dip a little down low and saving my money for that versus just, worrying about 2 cents right here. Because if we can get like 3-4 cents further down, that's where like the real multiplier moneymaker comes in. All right. But 18, 19, 20 cents to me is all about the same. And, if we just start heading back up there, it doesn't look like we're coming back. I'll just all in at like 20, 21, whatever. And I'll have doubled my money at 40 grand. I mean, at 40 cents, and then tripled it by 60. So either way, we're winning, right? But I'm only saying this because I want you to know, if you're wondering, like, Mariano, why haven't you bought in at 18? Because that's what I'm waiting for, because it looks like Bitcoin isn't done yet. That's what it looks like. And so I'd rather just be a little greedy and just see if we go down a couple more cents. That being said, if you buy in right now, pre-19, right at 18.70, you'll have doubled your money, like I said, at 38 cents. And then you'll double it again somewhere. What is that math? I'm sure you can figure it out in your head, near like 57. That is great money. So don't listen to me and be greedy if you think this is the bottom. All right. My opinions are my opinions based off my analysis and what I believe. Good traders are not always right. We tend to make way more money than we lose, and that's how you end up profitable. So 18 could be the bottom. Time will tell. But all of my signs that I'm seeing, based off the pattern repeating, based off the overall volume being really, really low, based off Bitcoin looking super bearish, like it wants to do like an upside down cup and handle and dump even further, based off everyone saying Bitcoin to 25,000, Bitcoin to 20s, and we still haven't flushed out all the bearish people yet and got the people that are on the sidelines to buy back in. There's a lot of whales still sitting out. I feel like just overall the social sentiment, everybody's opinion is that like we're not done falling yet. And then you've also got even some of the like final stand, Matt Wallace, for example. He's always saying to the moon. Now he's making videos saying that potentially Doge will go to 5 cents, right? So obviously, as an influencer with a big following, you're influencing a lot of people that help control the market. So his 20, 30, 40, depending on the video, live streams of a couple thousand people or videos that get 50 to 100,000 views, now you've got at least a quarter of those people feeling like, oh, maybe I will sell, maybe I won't buy. And that's going to be buyers that we would need to help the price reverse, now sitting on the sideline. So if the overall market sentiment is that we're probably going down, it is more likely that we are going to go down and that will play itself out, because everyone kind of puts their money where their mouth is when it comes to emotional trading. So that's where we're at. Now, there could absolutely be a scenario where it just kind of picks up from here and then starts to, really take off. That's possible. And so what I'll be doing is just keeping my eye on this move. If we start heading back up to like 2021 and we look good, I'll probably look to start entering. But short term, like I said, Bitcoin looks really bad right now, and it's not, you know, at best, I would just be starting to scale in right now on Dogecoin. That's what I would be doing. I would not be all inning at 18 cents right now. I would maybe go 25% in to start getting my average low, or I would start, you know, 50%. Don't forget, guys, averaging in is your best friend. It really is. Now, if you're day trading, that's kind of a different story. You have to, it's a little tricky to average in and then also catch your profit. You got to kind of make a decision, right? Now, when you're trading something like Dogecoin, for example, day trading it is not going to be very lucrative unless volatility is off, you know, like it was on SNL night. These days, swing trading it, so buying one day, averaging down over time, selling a couple days later, a couple weeks later, a couple months later, or just hodling it, that's going to be where you make your money. That being said, averaging in is much easier to do, and it pays off way more. Now, why am I going to say that? So imagine this. Let's just say you have 10 grand to put into crypto. That's going to be your max position size, 10 grand. If you put half in right now at 18 cents and you see that the price starts to go up, and so you didn't think it was the bottom, right? So that's why you only did half in. But if it went lower, you were going to average down. But instead, you were wrong. It was the bottom, right? 18 cents was the bottom. You're half in here. And you get confirmation that you were wrong, let's just say at 20 cents, 22 cents. So you put in the rest of your money at 22. When you do that, your average is only 20 cents. So you kind of cheat the system. Either way, when you start scaling in, you really set yourself up in a win-win scenario. If the price went down, let's just say the price went all the way down, you bought in, all in, half in at 18 cents, price goes down to 14 cents. If you buy the 14 dip with the rest of your money, your average is 16 cents. So you're still winning, right? 16 cent dip, whoever would complain about that when the bottom was 14. And then on the other way up, half in at 18, thinking it's going to go lower, maybe you can get that average down, but instead it goes up. You just kind of dollar cost in on the way up because you know it's going to take off from there. And now, you know, most half was in here at 18. You're throwing the other half in at 22, 23 cents, which seems kind of high compared to 18 cents. But by the time you do that, because your other half was in at 18, your average is only like, you know, 20 and a half cents, which is still really, really low. So averaging in is really your way to cheat the system. So I would not recommend being greedy. I tend to be a little bit greedier because me streaming most of the time and doing all the research for you guys, I don't have as much time to like enter and exit trades anyway, because I'm usually doing all the talking. So I don't make as much money. Like if I wasn't talking to you guys right now, I would be trading this more actively and I would be in way more profit. But because of that, I'm just like, it doesn't really matter to me anyway. As long as I get in at some point and get out later, I'm cool. But if you're trying to play this right and do this the right way, I would strongly recommend getting some kind of position going in the 18 cent range where we are right now, whether that's seeing if this pulls back or, you know, just getting in now, honestly, to some degree, and just wait to see what happens next. There's no harm in that. Don't be too greedy. Start scaling in. Consider that. All right. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but 18 cents is very good. We honestly didn't even know for sure if we were going to come back to teens, even though I was saying we were. There's always the chance I could be wrong. You should be grateful that we're here, knowing what's to come next. Even if you all in right now, you double your money by the time we hit 36, and you'd have tripled it by the time we hit like 50. So, and that's not even far away. So just keep that in mind. Consider scaling in starting now, 25 to 50% in my opinion, and then hold the rest for what happens next. But at this point, you know, to everybody, I don't think I could recommend like don't buy yet because we're going to crash. Even if we do go down to 12, if you're half in here, put the rest in here, your average is going to be something like 14 and a half cents. It's 15. Like, that's good enough. More than good enough. Don't be too greedy. Don't miss out. That's my advice. Would I sell if my average is 14 cents? No. I would just look to buy more. Definitely would not. At this point, I can't recommend anybody, no matter where you are, to sell. This is buy territory only. All right. This is buy territory. I don't care if you're holding from 80 cents, which we never even hit, or, 70 cents or 60 cents like I am on some of my accounts, or if you're in at 20, or if you're in at 15, or if you're in at 5. Like, it doesn't matter where you're in. This is not a sell time. Never sell at the bottom. Never sell at the bottom. I don't care, even if it's going to go down like potentially another 4 cents. Like, just don't risk that. That's what bad traders end up doing. They get really, really low. They see the price come in low and they're like, oh man, I think it's going to go lower. I'm just going to sell. Panicking, right? The panic sell comes in. That's usually at the point of reversal. Then they're like, why? How come every time I buy, the price goes down, and every time I sell, the price goes up? Man, the markets hate me. I'm going to buy so the price goes up for y'all. I'm going to sell so it goes down for y'all. The reason usually is because they're doing it at the wrong time off of emotion. And the people that have no emotion in the game, because they're sitting on the sidelines waiting for an entry, right? When you're thinking of selling because it's going so low, they're like, ooh, this is a good dip. I'm going to buy. That's why the price reverses. Your emotions are putting you on the wrong side of trading. And then when you're looking to buy, when you're like, man, the price is going up so fast, it's probably going to keep going. It's going to the moon. I want to jump in on this. The people that have been holding since 18 cents are now seeing Doge coming near 40. You're looking for a FOMO entry, and they're looking to take profit. So you buy in at 38, and they're setting their limit traders at, their limit trades at their limit sells at like 38, 39 cents. So you're buying in when everyone wants to sell and cash out. That's how you end up on the wrong side of trading. So good traders have to try and pretend like you have no position at all, and you've got all your money sitting on the sidelines. What would you feel like doing right now? That's the way to correct your viewpoint. And if you would be thinking, oh, I would not want to buy more right here, then that means probably don't do anything and maybe wait till the next move plays out, see if there's another better opportunity to average down. If you'd be thinking, oh man, this looks like a great dip, if I had more money, I'd buy it, definitely not a sell time, right? So try and take the emotions of having a position out so that you can make the right decisions. Don't forget, guys, click that subscribe button. Don't forget. Appreciate you all hanging out today. Robert says, I trust you as I watch a few YouTubers and you're the most accurate in your predictions. Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Thank you. Don't forget, also, you can follow me on Twitter, where I usually talk, when these 30-minute to an hour streams end, I'm on Twitter. That's where I'm at. Or in our Discord group. Smash the like button. What's going on, Adam? I want to go back all in. When do I get back in? Honestly, I'd start looking to scale in, put probably some in now in the 18 cent range, and then just wait to see what happens next. There is still a very high chance, all right, don't get me wrong, there's still a very high chance that we go down further. But in the case that we do, missing out for because how many times have we been down here, right? How many times have we been down here since SNL? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we miss the dip 5 times, there's no excuse. Okay, it's just us being greedy. This is the 5th time we've been down here. It does look like we're going to go down maybe a couple more cents potentially. That being said, at least get 25% position in, and then hold on to the other 75, see what happens next. If you do 25.75, you could buy at 18 now, buy in at 15 cents if it goes down there to the absolute bottom, and your average will be 16 and a half, almost right at the bottom. But then that also will get you some skin in the game if instead we start going up, and you could lower your average some. So I mean, I definitely wouldn't wait too much longer, in my opinion. We're nearing the bottom, and we don't know exactly when it's going to be. My price targets again were 19-ish cents flat, somewhere in this area for the first dip. Second dip is right here in 16 to 17. And if we're really looking bearish come that point as well, our next area is probably anywhere from 12 at the absolute lowest. I don't see us ever going under that. Really 13 is what my real guess would be. Anywhere from 13 to 14 and a half cents. This is most likely going to happen in my opinion, but it might not. And this would really be a stretch, but it could happen. Or this could be it. So we'll have to see. Now, also another thing to keep in mind, we don't have very much more time to be bearish. is what I'm saying. Though the price action does look bearish, like it wants to go down, like we might get another dip, keep in mind Elon Musk is going to be talking to some of the guys in the Bitcoin world, in the Bitcoin space, in a couple days. And so if there's anything positive set there, that could spark a little bit of a bullish run on the Bitcoin side, which could stop the dip. It could catch it and start helping the price go up. And with that assistance, I mean, we're at lows that are hard to reach. For example, Bitcoin being at, that's not Bitcoin. Bitcoin being at 31,000 right now, those are hard levels to hit. And Bitcoin, especially going under 31,000 is a stretch. Look at how many times on the chart Bitcoin's been under 31,000 over the last 2 months. Other than when we first crashed. Twice over the last 2 months. Twice for a couple hours each time. Very brief. Getting under 31,000 is very hard to do. So if we get any kind of good vibe from Elon Musk where it sounds like he's about to drop that suspension for Bitcoin, and which will reverse the market, the crypto space, because we know that's what crashed it, right? So you can assume that once he unsuspends it, it'll recover it. Once that happens, if there's any vibe given off from him that like we're close, that'll spark a little bit of a bull run. And what are the chances that with that positive thinking that we end up, for whatever reason, pulling back down again? So not only is that coming in a couple days, but then it's been a while now since he said what needed to happen with 50% clean mining across Bitcoin before he drops the suspension. It's been a while. There's been positive reports going on. We're probably getting close to that 50% mark. I've always said give it like 1 to 2 months before we actually hit it. So even worst case scenario, there's probably only 1 to 2 more months that we have down here. So really being greedy, time is not really on our side. We're not just going to free fall forever. So at some point you got to start locking in a position. If you actually believe in crypto and Dogecoin and think that the recovery will happen, you do have to assume a position at some point. And 18 cents, in my opinion, on Doge is a great place to start, even if that isn't your all-in. 4 hour, bit of a weak candle here, but don't forget it's a 4 hour candle. There's still more time. But we do see it bounced at 18 cents, which was to be expected, but we'll see what happens next. I'm not telling anybody what to do. Again, not financial advice. Like I said, I'm still not in. I'm going to wait to move out because I think there's a chance we go lower. And considering I had to cash out to like pay some bills and whatnot already, my position size is a lot smaller than it was like a month ago. So I'm more kind of risking it for the biscuit, I guess you could say. It won't be as crazy it would have been with my full max position on my scalping account that I had like a month ago. But if you're doing anything with like a decently large amount of money, 18 cents is great. You know, it's going to pay off to get started with and then average down. Let's see. Sorry, I keep forgetting about my webcam. Hope all is good today. Thank you, Ray. Glad to see you, man. So no Lambo, or when Lambo? That's the question, isn't it? Lambo probably in a month or two. I think Webull down for maintenance. All right, let's flip to trading view. Webull's down for maintenance, so we need another chart. There we go. Okay. All right. So we're going downtown, baby. Your street in a Range Rover. Doge is down bad. It very much is. What do I think we can put in order to buy? Definitely now, and then save some for later. You know, probably max 50% in my opinion. If you've just got, let's just say you're in already, but you've got average down money. With your average down money, I'd probably do half now and save the other half to see what happens next. Anywhere up to half, probably not more than that, because you do want to have a good amount left for if we go a couple cents down to really get the average down further. 16, 13, final stand. Oh yeah. Let me put a poll up really quick. Where do you think Dogecoin will bottom out? I think 16, 17 cents or 12 to 15 cents. Cool. All right. Below 11 cents. All right. Cool. All right, here's a poll for y'all. Don't forget to, every single one of you get that participation going. Also, click the like button if you haven't. But yeah, answer that poll. Let's just see how everybody's feeling. Let's get a little vibe check going. So basically, the poll is just where do you think Dogecoin will bottom out before it reverses for good? So what's the lowest dip that you think is going to happen before we start to head back up to, $30, $40, $50, whatever. So you could say right now, like 18, 19 cents, we're pretty much there. Or do you think that we're going to bottom out 16 to 17-ish or 12 to 15? Or are you feeling like we're going like 11 cents or less, maybe even to teens before we recover? So no wrong answers, obviously, just opinions. So yeah, and all 51 of you right now, don't forget, answer that poll. Thank you all for the likes as well. Appreciate that. We're at 40. Much love. Final Stand's an idiot. He doesn't realize the damage he's doing. I mean, I don't think he's an idiot, but I mean, here's the thing. Like earlier, you got to keep in mind some of these Dogecoin content creators or influencers or YouTubers, whatever you want to call them. They grew to have the following due to Dogecoin blowing up. Right, they were some of the first ones in the game. For that reason, the people that were into Dogecoin already, or that were speculating about Dogecoin before Dogecoin was really popular, were already following them. And then when Dogecoin really took off, they were the ones that were already established in the space. And so they kind of snowballed and blew up with Dogecoin, right? And Final Stand was kind of one of those. If you go back to his channel and see like when he really started getting views, it was only a couple months ago that his channel blew up. And the same for a lot of the other guys in the Dogecoin space. And it's to be expected, right? That's just how their road to success. That's how it happened. But at the same time, keep in mind that these guys, now you've got Final Stand, for example, who as of January barely had any followers, to now being the face of Dogecoin, basically. In the YouTube space, he even claims that he's the largest Dogecoin content creator. On Twitter, it's Matt Wallace. He gets replied to by, replies from Elon Musk. He gets respect in the Dogecoin space. So all of a sudden in the course of just a couple months, you go from basically just an everyday person, a nobody like myself, to the face of a movement. Hundreds of thousands or millions of people know who you are. You're an actual influencer, and people are like looking to you as an example almost in this space. So you got to keep in mind, new to this fame thing, basically in this crypto space, famous, you could say crypto famous. And then also I don't think he really meant harm as much as maybe he just didn't realize how much that people in the Dogecoin space really expected him to be the face of Doge, like the Dogecoin ambassador, right? So then, having fun and really just venturing out into other cryptos that maybe fundamentally don't really make any sense, and they just look like other pump opportunities, kind of look like a Dogecoin betrayal, even though maybe he was just looking to have some more fun because Dogecoin was kind of boring at the moment. So I don't know if, I don't necessarily think he meant any harm by it, but I can also see why people got annoyed, you know, because he's supposed to be the face of Dogecoin. And it was almost like, you know, leading his followers to just chase another pump, another get rich quick type thing, like a meme following. And then there's also some SHIB hypocrisy and whatnot, but to each their own. I don't get into that too much. I've changed opinions on cryptos as well, but, you know, I don't think he's an idiot, but I do see why some people got annoyed, basically. He doesn't 100%. Matt Wallace is complete garbage. He'll start a vid saying $1 and it's starting 5 cents. Claim he was right when it does nothing. That's just a lot of the Dogecoin content these days, though. But I see what you're saying. I found a message saying I was unfollowing and unsubbing, telling him that he had to cheap the Doge movement. Oh man. I don't think that Dogecoin will only drop to 17 or 16, but the price can increase to 2021 due to people who are waiting at this price. However, the price will drop again. Okay. I like that opinion. Good stuff. Thanks for sharing. That's what I like to hear, guys. Continue to comment and interact and let me know what you think. Would I sell if my average was 14? Yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't. I just look to buy more. Hey, Palantia, love Doge. Me too. To the moon. Traders do that. Investors hold. True. Hodling is also a great play. I'm going to buy so the price goes down and sell so the price will go up. I mean, everyone makes the jokes, but it's usually just being at the wrong place. I mean, yeah, being in the wrong place or at the wrong place at the wrong time when it comes to buying and selling, right? And so good traders know how to correct that and ride the wave and be going with the wave versus against it. Best channel ever is here. That this is the best channel on YouTube. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, let's see if you can get all 45 people in the stream to subscribe. Ray says, yeah, that is how it works. Hopefully it hits near 4 cents. I respect that. I would not like to see that because that's a little concerningly low. But yeah, a great dip would be great. 3 cents. Wow. Bottom is 1/10 of a cent. Dogecoin. If Dogecoin goes to 1/10 of a cent, crypto's probably dead. So don't be too greedy with your dip. Don't forget, with anything, there's consequences, right? So if Bitcoin is at $2,000 again and Dogecoin's at 1/10 of a cent, that's probably bad for the crypto space. That might mean we never go back up because something terrible happened. So careful what you wish for, basically. What's going on, Zaki? Welcome back to the stream, man. Did I hear about the Upshot situation? Pretty big FUD for the Dogecoin community. Still MIA? Yeah, I did. I'll talk about that in a second. Do I invest in Polygon or IQ? I think Polygon's a good investment. I'm not familiar with IQ. Polygon, Polkadot, a lot of those kind of blockchain competitors, Cardano, and the layer 2 solutions as well, you know, in that space. Those are good investments. As long as you know what they're doing in comparison to what things like Ethereum are planning to do with ETH 2.0. Because what I don't like is to get involved in any project that I think once ETH 2 comes out is going to fall into irrelevancy. So for that reason, I'm very careful with the blockchain and layer 2 solutions that I get involved in. Don't say 13. I'm gonna lose money if 13 hits. Yeah, that's a little low, but that could be the absolute bottom. Delarente, what's going on though? Yo, what's up, Tito? Just taking in the knowledge. Awesome, respect. Was that a subscribe notification I heard? Yes, it was. Essence, thank you so much for subscribing. Welcome to the channel. Appreciate that. Yeah, welcome to the stream, everybody. I see a lot of new faces here. Don't forget, click that subscribe button. Doesn't do any harm, but you'll be able to catch my next stream. And if at some point you don't like the content anymore, you can always unsubscribe, but at least lock me into your list of people to watch on Dogecoin coverage. Every single day, unless it's an extremely slow day, I am live. Travis says, Inyon? I don't know what that is. Please let me know. Delarante says, if Bitcoin takes off, Dogecoin will rebound. Yeah, exactly. Ray says, how are you doing? 11 cents or less. My lowest number is 7 cents. Wow. Okay. Jackie, what's going on? Again, sorry, I already said hi to you. Bottom price for Doge will be 14 cents. Okay. Hit the like and sub so you don't miss next stream. Yes, thank you, Skydive. You own Doge at 39 cents. Feels bad, Brian. Hey, don't worry. I've I've got some Doge at 60 cents that I'm still holding on to on my holding accounts. I told myself, you know, after SNL night, I saw the price coming down. I said, you know what? I'm not even going to touch this Dogecoin. I know we're coming back up here. No matter what the dip is next, I'm going to use my other accounts to scalp. So you're in at 39. I'm actually in at 60. So I feel you. The Doge train will come back and scoop us up. But this is a great time if you have other accounts like I do, or if you've got money to average down, to drop that average even lower. I have a feeling Upshot may be gone due to the upcoin crash. He was talking up Dogecoin since last year, called himself the Doge father before people called Elon the Doge father. Yeah. I don't know why I feel good when I'm pessimistic for Dogecoin. I don't either. That's kind of concerning. I don't mind Final Stand. Him being the face of Dogecoin doesn't mean he can't also get other coins, but don't get me started on Mike Davis. Yeah, I won't comment on that. Trump 2024, only live once. Says, why? We're talking about Dogecoin. What's that have to do with Trump? The Stankus Danks. What's up, man? I have urgent news. My Dogecoin family, oh man, mocking. Seems like we follow ETH Classic more than Bitcoin sometimes. ETH Classic isn't big enough for really Dogecoin to follow it, though sometimes our movements could just be the same. Like sometimes if you look at Bitcoin and then you look at altcoins as a whole, the altcoins will be doing a similar pattern to Bitcoin, but very similar to each other. So like Doge, Cardano, and Ethereum might be doing the same exact pattern at the same time, while that pattern is loosely following Bitcoin's. What's going on, Essence? Came in at 5 cents. What's up, HDG? Got 100,000 coins locked and loaded. Ooh, I like that. Hey, if anyone's feeling spicy, that QR code up there, send some Dogecoin. I will never turn it down. That's my little tip square. I'm just playing. But of course, that is what it's for, but I'm not asking for money. Navi says, I bought Bitcoin on PayPal for the $25 bonus. Which Doge was there? It'll be there soon. There's no reason for it not to be. They'll figure it out. The thing with these solutions for sending crypto, paying with crypto, they take the crypto and they just swap it out anyway. So it doesn't harm them to accept it. That's the thing. They just obviously don't want to just start taking in garbage and, you know, exposing their customers to security risks and risks of just, you know, for example, listing Upcoin and not really trusting it. But yeah, it'll be there eventually as long as it's trusted and proven. If you make a purchase, isn't that converting to fiat, making it subject to short-term capital gains? Yep. I've got conflicting opinions. What's yours? Yes. So if you make a purchase with Dogecoin, even if you're using something like BitPay or something like that, or the new Coinbase card, or if you're using Crypto.com card, or any exchange's debit card that says, we're going to let you pay with cryptocurrency. Yes, it is. It is just executing the trade for you, swapping it to something like USDC, and then swapping it to fiat currency to send to the merchant. So yes, every single time you make a transaction, it is executing a trade. So if you have not had that coin that you're going to spend for a year yet, you are going to be subject to short-term capital gains. And if you even just read the fine print on some of these cards and exchanges and stuff that lets you make payments, it'll tell you. For example, and just so you know I'm not making this up, I posted on Twitter just a couple days ago complaining about the new Coinbase debit card and how it doesn't solve any problems. But you can just see right here, it says Coinbase will automatically convert all cryptocurrency to US dollars for use in purchases and ATMs. So it's telling you right there, it's converting it for fiat, and they're not gonna take that fee. That one's going to you. That taxable event, they're not paying that one for you. And then you can even see here, it clarifies, says you can spend Doge with Coinbase card, but there's a few things to know. This absolutely terrible 2.49% transaction fee on all transactions, which is brutal. If you spend your own money, usually you don't have to pay a fee. That's only for credit cards where you have interest, but this is just a flat transaction fee. That sucks. And then it says spending is like selling. If you spend Doge that's worth more than what you paid for it, you will have to report a capital gains tax event. So if you buy it and you have Dogecoin, the value increases and you go to spend it, it's just selling it for you, and then you're going to have to deal with that capital gains tax. Now, it also says that holds, well, let me see here. Yeah, so spending's like selling, basically, is what they just told you here. You're selling it if you go to spend it. You're just executing a sell trade, so yes. But then it says you can alternatively spend USD coin and avoid these considerations, which, okay. Does that avoid the capital gains thing? I don't know about that. But what's still bad about this whole idea, whether or not that does help you avoid some, like the fee and some of the tax things, is that you don't get to actually spend your Dogecoin. So it doesn't solve any problem at all. That's why I think that these cards are absolutely useless. Because if they're going to have to incentivize you to not pay these ridiculous fees and have to be charged taxes and everything on spending your money, you know, you have to swap your Dogecoin for a whole nother cryptocurrency. You can't actually spend your Doge. So why even use this card? I mean, you might as well do that on your... The only benefit of using these is you have a card tied to your exchange. So you can, if you wanted to cash out, for example, on Coinbase, and you have $10,000 worth of crypto on there, and you need that money and you want to spend that, instead of having to wait for the bank deposit as you convert it back to fiat, transfer it back to your bank, instead they'll just let you spend it straight from the card, straight from the exchange. But there's no actual benefit to doing this other than a little bit of time savings. You're not actually spending your Dogecoin. So even when this isn't the case, if you use something else like BitPay or one of those other solutions, you have Dogecoin and they do the same thing. They exchange it for fiat currency and they pay them in fiat. They have no idea that you're even using crypto. They just use MasterCard or Visa cards protocol. So it's absolutely useless for the adoption of cryptocurrency large scale, because the people that are taking your transaction have no idea that you even tried to pay in a different type of currency. They're only getting cash. So the only thing that these really do is make it just a little bit easier to access your crypto holdings and make use of them, I guess, right? But they don't actually help with the thing we're really trying to push for, which is widespread adoption, because they're not exposing any new businesses to cryptocurrency, and that's the problem. Let's see. Yep, capital gains. What's up, Santiago? Welcome back. Why would you want a person to buy a $5 cup of coffee and then pay capital gains? That's why I will hodl. These people buying houses, that's crazy, IMO. Yeah, that's the problem. Is, let's just say, I mean, you buy Dogecoin today, 18 cents. Tomorrow it goes up to 36 cents. And you know long-term Dogecoin is going to keep going up. You can't really use your Dogecoin to spend it at that point, or if you buy something with it before that year period of holding it has passed, since you're converting it back to fiat, it's going to count as a sell where you took profit and then spent your profit. So it just gets capital gains taxed on top of every other tax that it's already hit. So it's really not a good idea. The only way that making purchases with cryptocurrency makes sense is if you can keep it in circulation and actually spend it like money, which means it needs to be a I send Dogecoin to you, you receive Dogecoin situation, or I send Dogecoin to you, you receive cryptocurrency. It can't be a I send Dogecoin to you, you exchange it for fiat, because then it's counted as a sell. And that's the main problem with these things, is they're not doing crypto to crypto. So the Walmart that you use this Coinbase card at, they're taking cash because you basically executed a sell to pay them in cash via this card. Until the thing is, though, when you send someone capital gains on your profit only, right. That's usually how it works. So, but the thing is, if you can keep the coin in circulation, instead of it being like sold for fiat and cashed out, if people assign enough value to something to view it more of a currency, then that thing it never gets sold. It's just getting exchanged in exchange for other things like cash does. And you don't pay capital gains on like those kind of things. Hope that makes sense. And that's why I'm saying this is not the solution. We need to pay in crypto and accept in crypto. That's where we can start actually making use of this currency. It's using it like currency instead of just something that has value today that may not tomorrow, so you want to cash out and take your profit, because then you get capital gains tax on it and it just creates a whole problem. Let's see. It kind of makes it useless. And why would you ever do that instead of just spending your US dollars, which there's no capital gains tax. It's inflationary. You don't want to hold it anyway, you know? Travis says, I'm glad you're answering my follow-up comments on my capital gains question. Yeah. So this is the situation. How can it become a world currency? If people have to accept it as something that holds value to the point where they will take it as payment. So that's the problem. If nobody trusts it and they don't want to accept it natively as payment, then it's not going to become currency. It's not going to have that widespread adoption. And that's why I've been saying we need to do our part to really spread the word on Dogecoin and get people to understand, like, we want you to accept Dogecoin. So for example, right now you can, I think you can buy on like newegg.com, maybe even on Amazon. You can technically pay with Dogecoin, right? But you're using one of these middleman services that all they do, take your Doge, swap it for cash, you execute it to sell, and then they execute the trade for you and give them cash. That will never, Dogecoin will never work that way, because no one's ever going to be incentivized to spend it, and you're going to have to deal with fees, and it's just going to be a nightmare of a situation. The only way that crypto can become currency is if people trust it enough to take it as payment natively, because then people don't get capital gains taxed on making that exchange. It would just be like making a donation, right? Because if you donate to me at the QR code, you don't pay capital gains tax on that donation, because you never sold, you just donated it to me. If I took it and then I sold, I'd have to pay, and this is according to the research I did just a couple days ago. If I took your donation and I sold, then I'd have to pay the capital gains tax. But if I just hold on to it and I use it to spend, send it to somebody else in exchange for goods, then it's on them. And then if they spend it, then it's on the next person, right? Just keep it in circulation. No one ever pays capital gains. Oh, sorry, Snakis. Yep. All right. Sorry, I know I skipped some of your comments, so let me get back to those. Banks have to make their money. I believe they will hit us with fees to spend. And that's the problem with centralizing decentralized currency. We need to keep the middlemen out of it, if that's the point, because they will find ways to start taking their money back from crypto. The whole point of crypto is not just to avoid government, but more particularly to avoid the middleman, which usually is going to be banks. So if we then start getting involved with centralized exchanges for decentralized currency, like centralized ways to spend our crypto, we've kind of got the same problem over again, in my opinion. We've got a middleman company of people touching our money, who knows what they're doing with that crypto behind the scenes, and they're also charging us fees again. So it's like back to square one. I don't see the point. Gotta keep it decentralized. Yeah, but these cards have to start somewhere, then improve from there. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad start. By all means, anything to make cryptocurrency more useful is absolutely 100% good. But I'm just saying, a lot of people, they've been saying, accept BitPay, accept, all this stuff. But they're not seeing the big picture that these things don't actually work long term. Like, this isn't the end goal. This was a good start. Now Dogecoin can be utilized a little bit better now that we can actually cash it out and spend it as, places with ease, but these people aren't actually taking it. These programs are just making it easier to use. That's all. Stankus says you take advantage of long-term capital gains rate, buy Doge, hold for a year, then sell to a wallet that you can spend without cap gains tax up to 40k USD. So you don't have to transfer your money to your bank. Right. So it just saves you that time, but it doesn't do anything for adoption, like from a retailer's perspective, which is my problem. Do I think we'll see one last Bitcoin dump the day before the grayscale unlock? Maybe. It just depends on how many people are concerned about that. Don't forget, dumps are really emotionally driven. So the question is, will people be panicked about enough people, especially bigger money, be panicked enough about the grayscale to start selling early, expecting a dump. So it really just depends on the answer to that question. And I don't know, but that is a good question. Let's take the time frame down a bit. From what I saw, but I could be wrong, tax does not kick in until after you made 12K. I don't think that's the case, but I'm not 100%. I know, I mean, I got taxed on my day trades from last year, and I don't think it had, I don't know if it had anything to do with the 12K mark. It just had like, this is how much you made, this is your wash loss, and like this is what you owe type thing. I don't know about the limit there, but maybe you're right. Whales might just be waiting until congressional hearing on the 28th. They could be. Yeah, regulation, anytime regulation kicks in, it's gonna be a problem, especially if the Fed really doesn't like it. Who knows what kind of regulation will kick in. Now it is hard to regulate crypto just because of the way it's set up, but there's already some regulations in place. Like, for example, in the US, you can't leverage trade cryptocurrency. Like, there's already some regulations in place, so it's not impossible to regulate procedures and things that exchanges can let you do. So that is a bit of a problem. Is it something automatically deducted? No, it would just go into your tax statement. They would send you you'd get your tax statement from your broker or your exchange, and you'd have to file it. Right. Yeah, Brian. Exactly. Awesome, Travis. Glad to help. It's about to dive. I agree. 40% under a year, 15% after a year. It's only 40% if it's only 36K? Interesting. Okay. Well, that's good to know. So unless you're making real bank, you shouldn't have to do 40%. So that's good. But for those of you that have been really profitable, that's something to keep in mind. Or if you're like convert a lot of your money to crypto and then you start making profit on that, that could be a big problem. Doge is 1.186. Yep. Reality is these slumps last at least 1 year. If you cash out 10 to 20K, the tax is 10% or less depending. If you cash out 10K or less, there's no tax from what I read. Yeah, Preezy, you're right. They do have to start somewhere, and it is a good start. My point was just that a lot of people think it's the end goal. Like, I don't think most people realize that this is just the start, and it helps with making cryptocurrency a little more useful since it helps us spend it, but it doesn't help with adoption because it doesn't expose retail to cryptocurrency. It shields them from it and lets us use it. So it only solves half the problem. And my problem isn't so much with the service itself. I'm glad that we're getting this start with these cards, but my problem is just that people don't realize it's only the start. And if we stop at the start, we're not going to get anywhere. Because if Walmart, Target, Amazon, Newegg, all these companies are forever shielded from crypto, they're never going to be incentivized to get involved with it. And we're going to stall out somewhere along the line as over time, the hype wears off and we're just like, well, why are we spending our crypto? We should really just be pocketing this and not paying capital gains tax or just unnecessary taxes in general when we could just hold this and save it, right? And so then the whole, except Dogecoin, except crypto to retail providers thing, it's only going to be useful if we can exchange it with them and they'll take it directly. If we can use it as currency. If long term we have to keep doing this sell thing and getting extra taxed on it, it's going to fall through. And that's just going to hurt the crypto market overall. That's my point. Long term, it's going to hurt the crypto space as we get to a point a year from now and adoption isn't where it should be. Okay, y'all have fun. Make that money. I have to run. Nice. All right. 5-hour drive ahead of me. Jeez. All right. Drive safe. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, no problem. But yeah, great start. Absolutely. But now it's time for what's next. And I told you guys I'm going to plug this every single stream. Wasn't kidding. Dogebeans.com. All right. For those of you that don't know, there's this company called Dogebeans. They make Dogecoin themed coffee. All right. So you can see here, Dogebeans Columbia Brew, Dogebeans Rise, I guess the morning blend, Dogebeans Moon Fuel, the CEO, whatever. Not only do they make Dogecoin themed coffee, not sponsored by the way, but I will gladly plug them because I think this is awesome. And I bought some myself. You can see I have the Dogebeans Moon Fuel right here. Right there. See that? Dogebeans Moon Fuel. Smells pretty good. I'm probably not going to drink it though because it's more of a souvenir for me. Anyway, not yet. When you go to check out, so if you add one of these to your cart, I just want to show you, this is what I'm talking about. This is what needs to happen with cryptocurrency. This is when it'll actually be useful. So I'm going to add this to my cart. I'm going to go to checkout because they accept Dogecoin natively. All right. So once you get to the checkout portion, you can come to the bottom here. You get an option that says pay with credit card or pay with Dogecoin and other cryptocurrencies. So you can select here a crypto, and depending on which one you select and based off what the price of that coin is at the moment, it'll tell you what your total will be in that crypto. So $24.99 right now in Dogecoin is going to be 134.6 Doge. So if I want to pay with Doge, I just select that. I click place order. And to shield my information, let me just do this. All right. And then once I click place order, it presents me with this right here. Actually, it's got to load. One sec. All right. It then presents me with this. This is what we need to start seeing from businesses. You're actually paying them in Dogecoin directly. You're here. It says to complete your order, send this amount of Dogecoin to this wallet address directly. And the shortcut, of course, would be using like your Coinbase or crypto.com, whatever. Click send and scan the QR code. Send them the total Doge. And that's how you execute your payment. Once they've received your Dogecoin directly, it'll then give you the check mark and say transaction complete, give you an order confirmation, and your Dogebeans coffee will be on its way. This is the right way, right? You're not exchanging your Dogecoin for fiat currency and then paying them with cash, which is executing a sell. You're directly sending them crypto. You're directly paying with Doge. This is what we need to see Walmart, Amazon, Target, local coffee shops, small businesses, people accepting Dogecoin natively with payments direct to their business wallet. That's when you can start using Dogecoin as currency and avoiding the capital gains, and that alleviates all the problems right now. So the goal is getting companies to do that, not just stopping at BitPay, making it easier for us to convert our crypto to cash to then spend it as cash. That defeats the purpose of crypto long term. Did Dogebeans finally sponsor you yet? If not, they should. No, not yet. But what I'm going to do, this was my practice shirt. After the stream ends, I'm going to make a Got Dogebeans shirt, take a picture of it, and then I'm going to ask them to sponsor me. I'll have it on tomorrow in the next stream. Don't worry. So the Mark Cuban and Mavericks accept Dogecoin if you use Doge to buy tickets, capital gains taxable event or not. It should not be taxable event unless there is an exchange to fiat currency. And if you send it to them and then they exchange it, that taxable event is not on you, it's on them. So if you can offload it and avoid an exchange to cash, no capital gains tax. For example, if you donate to me in Dogecoin, it's then on me to either hold on to the Doge, or if I cash it out for a profit, then capital gains falls on me, not you. Because you never sell it. The Mavericks are using BitPay, right? If they are, I'm actually not sure. If they are doing it that way, then that's not going to be tax-free. And they are choosing to get paid in Doge instead of fiat. Okay, well, if there is an exchange at any time to fiat in between there, that still screws us over a bit. But I'm not sure. I haven't researched that one. But I'm just letting you guys know that's kind of the way it works. Now let's talk about Upcoin very briefly, and then we can start looking to wrap up. It has been about an hour and a half already, so that's good. First, actually, let's talk about Shiba Inu coin, guys. You guys know I'm not a SHIB fan. I was more of a SHIB fan after Shiba Swap dropped, but they kind of used this whole win Shiba Swap catalyst thing as a pump and dump type thing. In the same way that we're like, win Dogecoin for Tesla. And the price will probably go to $1 because it's going to be actual major news. But they're like, win Shiba Swap. Got Shiba Swap, everyone sold. SHIB is now making new lows at under 7,000 Satoshi. Under 7,000 units. Bone is now down from $75 per bone to $4.73 and tanking. Whereas Leash is down from 3,000 down to 2,200. Yikes. This is actually a good platform. It's very disappointing to see a low market cap, decent DEX be doing so poorly. Because the actual swap feature is actually pretty decent, right? It's very similar to Uniswap. Uniswap is high market cap. Shiba Swap is relatively new. And I kind of like Shiba Swap more, right? I don't like Shiba Inu coin, but I like the actual exchange here more than Uniswap. I like the user interface. There's more options. In my opinion, it's a little bit... Once you realize what each thing does, it's cool, but it's not doing good. So rip to SHIB and the community. When it comes to Upcoin. So let's talk about Upcoin very briefly. And Stankus says, check Discord for capital gains rates. All right, let's see. Long term, let's bring this to the main screen. Single filers. Oh, your income 0 to 40. Let's see. Purchase price, sale price, pre-tax capital gain, 2020 taxable income excluding the capital gain, including your capital gain. Okay, all right. So let's just say, let's say this, you only made 15,000 off of this. So your capital gains would be 15. Let's just say you made $0 other than your trades. Your total taxable income, including your capital gains, 15. Into the time from your purchase to the sale, let's just say 1 year or less, and you filed single. Your federal tax rate on short term is 12%. Okay. Okay. So it barely... Oh, 2021. I should probably just be using 2021. Right. Okay. But if you... Let's just say you actually made income, right? And let's just say you made $40,000 from your actual income, and then you made money off of your stock. So 55,000 total, with 15,000 being capital gains. 1 year less. Estimated 2020 tax on short-term capital gain goes up because you made... Yeah. So that's a problem. So it goes off your total income. now. Okay. See how this is 1600 if I had no other income, but as I start making money, the capital gain rate starts to go up higher and higher on my crypto income. Now, obviously, most people in this stream aren't getting to like 200 to $1 million a year, but if you're anywhere near 6 figures, or let's just say 60,000 or something, I mean, your rate, it's still interesting. All right, anyway. Read the short term, it's the same as your income tax bracket. Oh, did I not read that thoroughly enough? So let me actually let's part 2 that, and I'll come back to the yeah, I didn't read it well enough and I closed it. So tomorrow let's like part 2 that discussion, because I want to talk about Upcoin, and then I gotta run, and then I'll read over that page, and then tomorrow I'll come back and actually know what I'm talking about. Do I watch run guys at all? No. Crypto's down, so maybe SHIB will come back when crypto goes up. Yeah, my problem though is low market cap cryptocurrencies typically don't follow the leader as much, and they're much more subject to volatility based off the community, because it's way easier to manipulate. So not seeing any kind of positive price action on SHIB, despite them having all these things to benefit them, is a bit concerning. Because Dogecoin, you can say Dogecoin's like almost $30 billion market cap. So maybe there's an argument there. Larger market cap, harder to move. Same for Ethereum. But when you get down to small market cap things like Baby Doge, Daddy Doge, Mama Doge, all the other low market cap, almost meme-ish stocks that are down in a couple billions or lower, those things go 100%, 1,000% per day. They can be easily manipulated because they're small, low market cap coins, and a lot of hype. SHIB community probably has the second largest community other than Dogecoin right now. And obviously the Bitcoin whales. SHIB is easily probably in second or third place with community following. They've got enough people easily to buy and manipulate the price, especially being low market cap with a lot of room to grow. And off their main catalyst, the price didn't move. Like, they didn't even make any new highs. It went up to 9,000 Satoshi before it dropped back down, and it had already hit that price before off the Coinbase hype. So yes, it does probably somewhat have to do with Bitcoin, but there's no reason for them not to have a bigger spike than that. That was their biggest catalyst, and they barely moved the price. That's like right now us getting Dogecoin for Tesla and the price spiking to 25 cents and then dumping again. Right? We should, off our biggest catalyst, we should have some movement regardless of Bitcoin. Just like when we got our Coinbase announcement, we were at like 30 cents, we spiked to 44 cents, right? There should be some move. Not only did they get Shiba Swap, but they got staking. Along with Shiba Swap, they got digging, burying, and a whole nother token as well. So also somebody's probably diversified a bit, but still very weak, disappointing move. And I say that as someone that was holding some SHIB, not as someone that absolutely hates the coin. So yeah, Upcoin guys, very disappointing story, very shocking. And I have to say, I'm still just a little bit confused and not sure what to believe. Here's the thing. Upshot, I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. Probably so if you watch my channel. He's one of the other channels out there that, you know, honest guy, a little bit of an older gentleman that was laid back. The streams, they were not about pumping Dogecoin, not about Dogecoin to $15 or anything unreasonable. He was more of a fundamental analysis, technical analysis, reasonable expectations, and reasonable discussion type stream. So he was also one of the people that I would kind of watch in my spare time, along with just a couple select others like the Coin Bureau and yeah, pretty much it. So what ended up happening is most of his following were Dogecoin lovers as well, just like you guys are, and just like Mike Davis, Matt Wallace, and a lot of the other crypto streamers right now. It's usually either they're covering Dogecoin, which is the largest community, or SHIB, which is probably second largest or pretty close. And so anyway, he ended up creating, like a lot of people, his own token called Upcoin, named after his channel and himself, Upshot. Upcoin was a BSC token on the Binance Smart Chain. That's irrelevant though, but it was basically like a decent, solid, fundamental token. Had a cool design, cool website, had some benefits for like owning it, and I think you could stake it as well. And it was just like, you know, another for fun, decent token. The main purpose of it was going to be for tipping people, in the same way you could probably think of Dogecoin right now. It wasn't a direct competitor to Dogecoin by any means, but if anybody, you know, was going to purchase the coin, the goal was to be able to send it to other people as like payment, and it have some kind of value. So you could think similar use case to Dogecoin. A lot of people, you know, as a calm gentleman that people trusted, he'd talk about Upcoin occasionally, talk about Dogecoin and his coin Upcoin. Wouldn't usually even talk about it that long, but did have a couple like little sessions some nights where they would go over like technicals and future projections for Upcoin and some of the things in the pipeline project wise and all that. Just like a really nice, chill community where it was just something to discuss or maybe invest in for fun other than Dogecoin. Well, as of, I guess, yesterday or maybe very early this morning, apparently there was a massive rug pull that was led by him, to where he got all these people to invest in the coin, acting like, you know, the nice guy's been talking about Dogecoin since last year, and everybody trusted him. You know, this guy of all people, you wouldn't expect him to do anything shady. Well, after the coin had hit like $10 million market cap or something like that, sold all shares, rug pulled, cashed out, and took all the money basically, and left nothing left basically. And not only that, cashed out and like left the scene completely. So that means, I mean, like deleted YouTube channel, deleted Twitter, website got deleted, everything like off the map, took money and ran like he never existed. So everybody's kind of in shock right now, especially the ones that trusted him, which was most people in the community, because like older gentleman, laid back, seems 100% honest, talking about Dogecoin, gives off like grandfather vibes, and then just for fun makes this token. Like no one ever expected a rug pull there. He was one of the trustworthy guys that didn't pump Dogecoin and didn't like try to be realistic and help people. But let's just try and find his channel. Oh, is it back up? Deleted all videos. Wait. So anyway, what I was going to say is that I don't know how much I believe it was actually him behind it still. Like I'm kind of still in doubt, because he was just such a nice, genuine guy from what you could see consistently, that it seems very strange. And don't get me wrong, money trumps all for some people, to where, you know, they do anything, especially when your coin has a $10 million market cap and you could possibly cash out on that. And I don't know how much of it he would have gotten, but let's just say a couple mil from someone that doesn't have much money. A lot of people would do some crazy things for a couple $1 million, including scam everybody, cash out and run, never be seen again, and retire, you know? So I'm not saying that's impossible, but it just seems a little uncharacteristic. And so that, for that reason, I'm still entertaining the possibility that maybe he got, because he's saying, according to some post that someone saw on his Instagram, which I don't know what his Instagram is, but apparently there was a claim by him that his computer got compromised, right? My question though is, your computer gets compromised and literally everything gets touched. It seemed like maybe that could be an excuse to save face. as someone does a move like this and then tries to escape liability. Because, for example, if everyone knows who I am and they gain access to my computer, like, at what time of the day do they do that to where, you know, I'm not on it and I don't catch that someone else is manipulating my information to the point where they're like remoted into my PC for that long of a period of time, or they get access to some of my accounts to where they have access to like everything of mine, and I not get back in time to shut off my computer if they're remoted in, or to start shutting stuff down, changing passwords and whatnot if they're inside of my YouTube, and then my Gmail, and then my Twitter, and then my Coinbase wallets, and then my website for Upcoin, and like that doesn't seem realistic to me. That all of that happened. I don't know if that's really possible to just happen and you not catch it at some point. So, while I'd like to think that this was a bit like he got hacked somehow and someone did take control and did it, it still is just kind of hard to believe with what's happening next. Now, something else that might make you think that it was him getting compromised and not him doing it was, you go to Upshot's YouTube channel now, and his logo is not Upshot anymore. It says Today News. And now you see this whole new YouTube banner. So it's like someone took his stuff and like sold it to someone else. Like, we've got this 71,000 subscriber YouTube channel now that we're going to compromise, delete all content at a clean slate, and now sell a 75K sub channel to somebody. And they cashed out all his Upcoin and, you know, took over all the social media. You know, that's, with this being that weird, that's possible. But it could also be maybe he was just shadier than anybody thought, and this was all his doing. So, no real way to know. Guys, also please go to Twitter. My link's in the description. Help me out with this here, if you don't mind. I'll send a link right now to the post in the chat. All right. So if you could just help me out with this tweet. Basically, Axe is making Dogecoin body spray, which I think is awesome. And so does the Dogecoin community. And though most like adult men they usually will have their cologne of choice and probably haven't worn Axe body spray in a while, like myself. It's still cool, and I'll still buy a can and see what it smells like, but at the very least, I'll just have it as a souvenir, like I have my Doge Beans coffee. What I would actually use, though, would be body wash from them. Doge Wash, I think, would be an awesome name for it, too. Instead of the Doge can, also have the Doge Wash. I think that would be awesome, like dog wash, whatever. If you want to see Axe body wash in Doge, and I think that would be way easier to promote, too, because more people use their body wash, I feel like, than their body spray, which people tend to grow out of. So if you'd like to see that, click that link and just like my tweet or something, or drop a comment on it. That way they notice that tweet and take note of it, because they've really only been kind of looking at the larger Twitter accounts and responding to them, like Greg, Dogecoin Rise, and Slumdog. So yeah, just like the tweet, show it some support if you'd like to see that. Appreciate that. That's all. Trust no one. He could easily have gone to one of his fellow creators and clear up the issue. Right. The real Slim Shady. And what happened with your convo, Preezy? It's hot here in VA, Santiago says. Probably sitting in Panama. Yeah. Not good, holding 17 million. Ooh. All right, so yeah. There's a couple things with that. I mean, he very easily could have cleared it up via making a new account somewhere, communicating with this following, saying I got hacked. Like you said, talking to one of the fellow influencers. But instead, what's happening is we're getting some reports from Steven Steele, another person in the crypto space, and another person that they got messages from Upshot saying whales are selling, get out now, sell now, right as the rug pull was about to go down. So looks like it really could have been him, which is pretty disappointing. It's going to shake up the crypto Dogecoin community a bit, I think. But I think that's just a good reminder to everybody. Like when you ask me, what do I think of this garbage coin or this trash coin? And I'm not saying that the coin itself is absolute trash, but I'm just saying the no-use garbage coins, right? The ones that are super cheap, that came out of nowhere, that are probably just for a pump or for a very low-use purpose that is brand new and mostly is just to be probably a pump and dump. If you're asking me, what do I think of those coins? Just like in the stock market, you have different types of investments you can make. You can invest in large, credible companies. You can invest in prospects that are low to mid market cap that have potential room to grow, but could also fail. And then you've got these companies that are going out of business, that are getting near $1 or less per share. And soon they're going to be delisted from the NASDAQ like Hertz was last year. And maybe there's a chance that they'll 10x and recover or whatever. And then you've got the penny stocks on the OTC market, right, that are 0.0000001 cent per share, that if you buy 10,000 of them, they could go to the moon. I'm not going to recommend ever that you go and start buying up garbage coins for the chance that maybe one day they will increase in value. Now, there are people that execute those trades. There are people that take that risk, and if they know what they're doing, they can be successful in that space. But for the majority of people, if you're just kind of going in inexperienced and blind, that is not a play. That is gambling. So I'm not saying that I wouldn't have bought Upshot coin or Upcoin because I actually considered it at one point. But that was from somebody that I even felt like I could trust in the social media Dogecoin influencer space, right? You wouldn't have really seen that coming. But when it comes to now these other coins that are just like this, that have almost no use, but are from unknown sources, like we don't even know the person behind it to trust, I am not investing in those coins. If I do, it is not ever going to be something I'm going to recommend to any of you guys here in the stream, because I'm going to understand I'm going in with like $100 max, and it's going to be a gamble play where it's like risk reward ratio of 1 to 1,000 or something, and it's only $100. But if this works out, I'll have like 100 grand, right? But I am not recommending, nor am I investing in any coins that do not have a purpose. So before you even ask, what do I think of this coin? You know, I'll answer any question and I'll review any coin, but it has to have a purpose, a reason for existing in the crypto space. If it does not, and if it's just another pump opportunity, or if it's a safe moon type coin where they try and make you think it's going to go to the moon safely, just invest and it'll all work out, I'm not interested in those make money schemes. The way I make money is by doing things the legit right way, doing research and investing in things that have value and potential for a purposeful future, right? And those kind of coins are not it. So I just want to make that known. I will not buy a coin that someone from YouTube made. I strongly would not recommend it. I don't even know if I could recommend, if I made a coin, buying my coin. I don't think anybody that's just a YouTuber is honestly just trustworthy enough to start putting millions and millions of dollars in their hand out of nowhere. You know, I don't know what I'd do with that money either. So even if I made a coin, I'd have to figure out a way to take myself completely out of it, because even though I consider myself an honest person, that's just crazy, you know? If I have control to rug pull it, I would not recommend that anybody start buying it. So I'm just saying, probably not a good call to go into that space. Buying YouTubers coins, I don't know about that one. Buying garbage coins, strongly not recommended. Just being 100% honest, probably not a good idea. Putting large sums of money, your life savings, into one person's hands, probably not a good call. So anyway, that's the Upshot deal. Just to wrap up here though, as far as Dogecoin's concerned, you can see we bounced off 18 cents flat, got up to the 200 EMA, tried to hold, fail, got up again, rejected. We'll see what happens here. This part's important. If we start heading back to 18 cents flat again, we're probably going to dip even further into 17 and then further down into 16 cents. So that's going to be our next move, and we'll just have to keep an eye on that, see how it plays out. And if we start, getting towards 18 cents, just catch me on Twitter. We'll be talking about the next dip. But the next area to catch is going to be close to 17 cents. maybe even down to 16. And we'll see what happens once we hit lowish 16 cents. We'll see if we bounce strong off there, if that's the last dip. If there's another weak bounce down there, then we're probably going to go a little bit lower before we bottom out and take off. Million token seems legit. Yeah, that one seemed legit, potentially. And then Dogecoin, probably not. Probably not. Got all the YouTube squad all in that together. Wouldn't trust it. And there's apparently 4 whales or 5 whales that hold 50% of Dogecoin's market cap. So if those 5 YouTubers just decide to sell, that's, you know, rug pull waiting to happen. So we'll drop once live is done. Yeah, you know the way it always happens. All right, guys, that's going to be it. We are getting a little bit of support here. We'll see what happens. Just keep an eye on the chart on Dogecoin. See if we head back towards 18. If we do, we're probably going lower. If we bounce up here, we'll just have to report on it. Catch me on Twitter for more updates before tomorrow. I'll be on there right after the stream ends. And thank you all for hanging out. Don't forget, click subscribe so you can catch me in the next stream tomorrow. And I hope you all